Well, good day folks. In this episode I'm going to be talking about the car in English for all you guys that's been missing out. I've got a lot of videos online about my car and how I built it in Swedish, but I don't think I have any video detailing the work behind this car in English, so I'm hoping that's what we're going to fix today. I'm not going to be super thorough. I'm going to be pretty quick and straight to the point. So let's just get started. Feels pretty natural to start in the front and then work our way backwards. We'll start with the engine. It's the B234 based out of 9000 basically, and it's pretty stock inside, but it's not. It's all Saab parts, but it's spread out from different models, like the head is a standard B234 head with the cams from a B202 engine, basically the first 16 valve engines. The head is completely stock, nothing's done with it, apart from it's been ported to match the inlet manifold better, because if you line up the gasket for the inlet manifold onto the engine, you'll see that there's missing out quite a lot of material in the way you can scrape away pretty easy just with a Dremel, air pushed Dremel. Inside the block, which is stock, we have stock crank, stock rods, B234, 2.3 liter, and the pistons is from a 2.0 but stock. The reason why I'm using the 2 liter pistons is because they are a little bit more flat on top, which produces a lot more compression ratio. So the engine is a lot stronger than you'd imagine, even before the turbo is boosting. It's stock bearings inside, stock rings, stock cylinder head gasket, but from a 9.5, so it's the B235 or B205 head gasket. They are a lot more durable. You can push those way beyond what I'm pushing and they still don't break. I'm using the stock oil pan for 93, 900, 900 NG, that is, so 94 up to 99. I haven't done anything to the sump. The only thing I've done is I've cut it out, the rear part, and increased it upwards so there's more room for my steering rack or steering gear. The engine is controlled with Trionic 5, so it's still the stock engine management system. And it's tuned by my brother at Nordic Tuning Dalarna, Robert, using pump E85, and is pushing 450 wheel horsepower and 600 newton meters torque. It's got 300 newtons at the rear wheels at 3000 RPMs. That's basically before any turbo pressure is applied, and it's at the peak boost is 1.5. Imagine going up beyond 2 bars. The turbo is the biggest GT30 that was produced. I think it's called GD3076 with 0.86 outlet. I've got a 35mm wastegate that opens out just in front of the engine. The exhaust manifold is built by me. It's a tubular, similar length. Tried to make them just the same length. I tried to make them the same length, each line. The inlet manifold is a 9000 manifold flipped. Well, it's not flipped, it's the flange, it's just relocated. I'm running 1200 cubic inches injectors from Bosch with two Bosch 040 pumps. One is pumping fuel into a catch tank, which is about 1.52 liters, and then the next pump is pumping from that catch tank to the engine. So basically I'm running 1040 fuel pump. The pressure is being controlled by this nuke regulator. Otherwise it's bone stock in here, apart from just making everything fit and connect the right way, like switching the flow of the water, because it's going that way stock, now it's going that way. The water is flowing into a 9.3 SS radiator. I think we're done here. Let's get into the gearbox. It's what's it called? It's BMW ZF S5D 310Z gearbox. I believe they come out of M3, old M3. It's a manual H pattern 5-speed gearbox. And how it's fitted to the engine, it's you can see here that's it's a cut there in the weld. Basically what's been done is the flange from the BMW flange has been cut out and thrown away into the sea, and the same has been done to a Saab gearbox, but in that case the gearbox has been flown out into the sea and the flange has been welded onto the BMW gearbox, so it's a straight fit. It's probably not as easy as it sounds, but people are making a market out of it, and I've got one of those gearboxes. 9.5 flywheel, a bit heavy, but it works, together with a 4-puck sinter and what's it called, the 392, what? I think 293 pressure plate for the 9.5 Arrow. Super good setup, works perfect. A little bit hard on the left foot, but it never breaks, never slips. Moving backwards, it's just using a 5 Series drive shaft, shorten a bit to match the car's length, and it goes up to a 5 Series E34 LSD, which I have custom mounted into the rear end, which is a 520 E39 multi-link rear axle. Super great. You can adjust toe, caster and camber. Perfect. A lot of bushings, so it's an expensive story to change them out. Luckily I don't feel the need for it right now. Well, have I touched on the exhaust? I don't think so. I stopped at the manifold. It's a custom made 3-inch system with 2 mufflers. No cat. It's not required of this year model. But the best of the best, the car is road legal. I passed it through inspections and made it legal with 226 horsepower, 1220 kilos. But it's pushing 450 to the wheels and like 600 Newton or something. Super great car. I love it. In the back we don't find much. The pipe you see here is just a covering pipe to make sure nothing pushes against the real pipe, which is the fueling pipe that goes down to the fuel cell, which is a 35-liter plastic tank. That is a evaporation line, and everything of this goes out to here. That doesn't make any sense anymore. It's running E85. Here we can see one of the 3-inch mufflers. We have the fuel cell, some AR lines, these yellow protective things that I just put on for show. I couldn't really hide these lines, so why not show them instead? We have the fuel pumps, the catch tank, everything totally visible. Looks like it's hanging way down right now when we're standing in the grass, but it's not an issue out on the road. And now we're working our way forwards instead. Brakes in the back is bone stock 520E39. In the front it's 9.5 aero brakes. I think they are 308 millimeters. With XP8 pads from P in Sweden. I'm running 17-inch wheels with bolt pattern from all the Saabs basically, 5 to 110, and that is done by modifying a 9.5 spindle together with a 90 spindle. So I basically made one hub out of two, and that made it possible to use the 9.5 brakes and use its bolt pattern. And in the back I've just got a spacer that has BMW on the female side and Saab on the male side. Inside it's pretty lackluster. There's 2 racing seats. There's appropriate racing seat belts, 4 patterns. There is regular street 3 pattern seat belts as well. For the short drives there's 2 fire extinguishers, 1 on each side here. There's let's see, there's one of these to cut out the power when something goes wrong. There's a fan here for the hot days. There's a head unit with stereo, Bluetooth and 2 speakers. There's also speakers in the doors and speakers in the rear here on both sides. Jesus, there's a bad quality here. The battery is behind the driver's seat. Here's a net where I can put things. There's a small racing steering wheel with a lot of spacers and a quick release. I've got some gauges showing me water temp, oil pressure and boost. I've got air fuel ratio gauge. I've got the fuel gauge. I've got the speed gauge and RPM gauge. And I've got the newest toy I got is a BR 2-step launch control. The lower RPM limit is controlled here and the higher is controlled by the, inside there. And that's pretty much it. Handbrake is here. It's pretty tight fit with everything, but it is what it is. And that's it for the walk around of my Saab 90 from 1987 with rear-wheel drive. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like, a comment and maybe subscribe, and we'll see each other in the next video. Yeah, that's it.
here and take this from you. Are you drunk?